I was in Kawarau. And we were just about to open in Greece. I was playing Danny Zouk in Greece, and I remember the very first. We put the show off for a week because of the earthquake. No one could get in or get out. And I remember when we did actually open, my very first line as Zuko was, "Hey, you guys, what's shaking?" And the whole place laughed for 10 minutes. So it was. It's rather hysterical that my first line should be that after an earthquake. But yeah, I was there right in the midst of it. I was actually I was in the local paper in Kawarau doing an interview, and the earthquake hit, and like bookshelves were falling over, and obviously everything was shaking like mad. Walked outside, and there was a bike shop next door, and all the motorbikes fell over, and I had a car. My car that was parked outside was moved like 4 feet across the street, and we went and sat on the curb on the other side of the road, and the vet brought out a puppy dog that he was actually operating on at the time, and had to leave the building, and so it was just absolute chaos. You looked down the street and it was like a river. It was like the sea. It was just undulating. So and we were getting aftershocks for ages afterwards. So yeah, as I say, I couldn't get out, couldn't get back in again, even if I could have got out. So I stayed there. Yeah, very, very scared, obviously, it's sort of, for some reason, it didn't, people of the region will tell you, we were staying at Anne Pilkington's place in Kawarau, and I remember she had about 20 people sleeping on her living room floor. And I said, look, I'm going to bed, I'm fine. And because everybody was panicking about another earthquake, of course. Maybe I'm just too dumb, I don't know. But I took the torch with me and went to bed, and another one hit and I slept through it. So they came running for me because I had the torch, and but there was, just what it does, it pulls the community together. I mean, any time of disaster, which none of us ever want, it does pull a community together where everybody then helps everybody else. And yeah, it was just it was an amazing experience. Amazing experience. Just the people. We went to, as I say, we were doing Greece, so we took some of the cast to Whakatane, and we did just a bit of a free concert in one of the parks there for the school kids, because they put on a barbecue so people could at least get food. Because I think maybe 20 years down the line, people don't sort of recollect exactly how devastating something like that is when it actually cuts off your supply from everywhere outside of a region. And it's always the unknown and of not knowing what's going to happen next, whether there's another big earthquake. And we were just more concerned that people weren't hurt, and that everybody was getting enough to eat and had a roof over their heads. So we sort of drove around doing that, because obviously we put the show off for a week, so we had time on our hands. But I think what will stick in my mind always is the friendship and the camaraderie of the people, and just how they banded together to help people whose roofs had fallen in, or sort of couldn't get from one place to another because the roads had all packed up. And it was I'll always remember that time. I can't believe it's been 20 years. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I did, because that's how we were finding out whether how to get in and out. Because obviously with Kawarau, the road had dropped on the bridges, so there was like a 2 foot or whatever drop. People will know better than I do, but we couldn't actually drive over the bridges to get anywhere. So you were actually stuck in the centre. So we were using the radio to find out what was going on. Where people were. A lot of people had lost their pets, had lost their animals, because obviously they'd taken off into the hills, and we were actually finding where people were. And yeah, it was a disaster. I mean, the whole place was. It'd be like a bomb had hit it. Oh, look, I love it down there. I always have. I come back as much as I possibly can. It's not always, I don't get there as much as I would like. I was there early last year and caught up with a lot of friends. And the community spirit always in New Zealand is always, second to none. It's always fantastic, and everybody does help everybody else. And it really shows at a time of disaster. Shame it doesn't show just every day, everywhere, but it takes that for people to band together.